Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? As mentioned in our daily financial news, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Greg Dickerson with us. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Michael. How are you this morning?
I'm doing really well. I got three exciting topics for you today, or for us to talk about. They are from three kind of legends in the real estate investing world. And we're
Yeah.
going to start off with actually somebody you have interviewed, Grant
hmm
Cardone.
Yeah.
You interviewed him about 6 months ago. It was a powerful interview that I've seen a couple of different times.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, it was last year, right around the beginning of the pandemic, I think
mm,
March or April.
all right, so a year. So before I jump in, why don't you tell us where audience can find that interview with Grant Cardone?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. The easiest way to find me is my website, gregdickerson.com. Links to all my social media are there, but I have a YouTube channel and it's on there.
Yeah. So yeah, again, go watch the interview. I've seen it a couple of times. Actually, ran into it 6 months later and watched it again. So it was really powerful. But
Well, it's
anyway,
interesting,
mhm,
the feedback. A lot of people said it was the best interview they ever saw with Grant, because
mhm.
we have a relationship to where it brings a different side of Grant Cardone out that nobody has really seen before. So
Yeah,
people really enjoyed it.
yeah. No, it was. It was almost like two buddies having a conversation. It wasn't
hmm
Grant Cardone, the social media kind of starlet persona. It was just two buddies having conversation. It could have easily be done at a sporting event or somewhere else. So I
hmm
thought you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, the reason I brought Grant up today is because he put out a video. I want to say it was a week ago. I saw it over the weekend talking about anybody can become a billionaire.
hmm
Um, I understand what he's trying to do. I understand what he's going after. I want to tweak that concept to something I think is maybe more manageable, maybe more believable, and really important. And that is, do you think that anyone could become a millionaire? I think we should talk about that. What you think, if yes, if no. Why don't we just start there, Greg? So, do you think
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
can become a millionaire?
Nope.
No. Okay. Awesome. In the video.
Nope. Done. See you guys.
That's hilarious.
I've seen him talk about anybody can become a billionaire in one of his things as well. And just to be clear, like he did an appearance on Undercover Billionaire.
Yep.
Grant is not a billionaire. He does not have a net worth of $1 billion. He has a real estate portfolio that as it's valued right now based on the purchase price of his assets is over $1 billion. But he is not, a net worth billionaire. So, and that's the funny thing about that show is that, they've had people on there that are not billionaires and it's called Undercover Billionaire. So, I mean, get people that are actually worth $1 billion or more and get them on the show. But anyways, I've seen that comment before and it's very misleading. And when I say no, not anyone can become a millionaire is because, most people aren't willing to put in the time, energy, effort that it takes to actually become a millionaire, to educate themselves, to develop the skills, the abilities, the talents, and then more importantly, to figure out how can I create value in the marketplace, solve a problem that creates the opportunity for me to become a millionaire. So, you have to be willing to put the work in. You have to be willing to do what it takes. You have to be willing to sacrifice in order to get there. And it doesn't matter, what it is, whether you're buying lottery tickets, investing in stocks, cryptos, real estate, business, you've got to do something to put yourself in a position to be able to become a millionaire. And most people aren't willing to do what it takes, to educate themselves and develop those abilities and skills to do that.
I think that's an awesome way to answer that question. I would answer it the same way, except my first answer would be yes, and then all those caveats, right? If you're willing to do this, if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to do that, you certainly could. There's nothing magical about becoming a millionaire that isn't tried and true. Lots of stuff out there, but like you say, it takes sacrifice, it takes discipline, it takes staying in your lane, it takes time, right? That's where most people fall down, right? I've seen plenty of people start a journey and then life gets in the way, right? Just happens. And you take a right turn or left turn or heaven forbid a U-turn and you're off the track. So
Yeah.
right.
And it takes the right mindset, it takes the vision, and it takes the environment. I mean, there's some people living in some countries where it's just not possible.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
true.
isn't going to happen for them, So
Yeah.
when you say anybody, I'm
Mm.
thinking global, macro
Yep.
scale,
That's true.
it's more available to people today than it has ever been. But, so let's just take the context of the United States and the American dream and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah, anybody who is willing to apply themselves, open their mind, develop themselves, educate themselves, um, create a vision, and then
Mhm.
execute upon that vision and get out and do what it takes and put the hard work in. Yeah, it's completely possible and available to anyone who believes, anyone who applies themselves. And we go back all the time. We talk about, how did you do what you did? How did I do what I did? And we go back to, books on cassette tape, and then it
Yes.
became the CD player. And I
Yeah.
talk about the 80 gig iPod that I
Oh yeah,
had.
I remember. Yeah.
I found it.
Oh, you did. Look at that thing. That's an antique, man.
It's, hey, this thing's probably worth,
Oh,
more than gold
absolutely.
right now. This was the 80 gig iPod,
Yeah.
and I hadn't been able to find it, but this thing is holding, I don't know how many, hundreds of books,
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
And I used to carry this. You see, it's cracked if you look at the
Yeah.
screen, because I used to jog with it and
Ah,
exercise with it, and I've dropped
good.
it over and over.
Good for you.
Um, this is why I've been able to get to where I have been able to get to and do the things I've been able to do, is because I poured it into here first
Yes.
before it could come out. You think it, you speak it, you do it,
Yeah.
and that's what it takes. So if you're willing to do what it takes, put the work in, yeah, then it is possible.
Yeah, the only other thing I want to add to that is its consistency over time. I think all of
Mhm.
what you've said is absolutely where you start. But again, I think where lots of people fall down is they're like, I've been doing it 2 years and I'm not there yet. I'm like, well, this
Yeah,
isn't a microwave, right? It's going to take, I mean, it took to hit seven figures for Olivia and I, it was probably by year 8 or so in our portfolio.
hmm,
But financial freedom wasn't earned until 15 years, right? So it just
yeah,
takes time. And I wish we would get out of this microwave mentality where, oh my God, it hadn't happened in 7 seconds. I got to do something else. You're on a path. The journey is long. Stay consistent, add value. And like you say, keep pouring into yourself and keep taking action. So I think there's a lot
yeah,
in that.
yeah. And to be honest, this day and age, you can do it quicker, faster, and
Yeah.
easier than ever before, because the information is out there, the
Yeah.
proof is out there. People like you are out there with your book, your course. People can read that and 10x that thing, and get
Hell
there in
yeah.
half the time, or even in 1 year.
Yeah.
You can be lights out in 1 year on one deal, one
You
real
could be.
estate deal, that you never have to, worry about work again or a job. You can generate enough income off of one property to cover your income, annually.
Mhm.
So it can be done very fast. It can be done very quickly. And it's an amazing time in the economy now, with the interest rates where they are, with the availability of capital, people that are understanding passive real estate investments that'll back you if you don't have any money, that will join you if you don't have the credit,
Yeah.
help sponsor your deals. There's so many ways to get it done now that just weren't available 5 years, 7 years, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think what I'll end with this one is I do believe, again, if we keep it in North America, obviously there are countries around the world where it's just impossible for many of the citizens, which is unfortunate. But if you're in North America, you're in an economy that's capitalistic. If you're willing to do the work, sacrifice, keep pouring it in, and be consistent over years, I think good news. You have a chance at becoming a millionaire. So, Greg, any closing
Absolutely.
thoughts on this?
No, that's it. I mean, anything is possible to, if you believe, if you'll
Yeah.
do the work, pour into yourself, develop your mindset, and get out there and take action.
And folks, do yourself a favor. Go find that interview with Greg Dickerson on his channel with Grant Cardone. It really is the most down to earth I've ever seen Grant, which is saying something. So do yourself a favor. Go find that video. Greg, thank you very much for your time. This has been a great conversation.
Yep.